What's going on, everyone? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. You're looking at a chart here of the S&P 500. Now, if you're looking for the ticker on TradingView, it's right over here. It's SPX 500 USD. It is a feed by Olanda. I trade with FX Choice. I trade the S&P 500. 23 hours a day, I have access to the market. I am not trading the SPY. If you are, you could follow along here, and I'm going to help you navigate what is the next move here on the S&P 500. And today's video is going to be focused on technical analysis. If you get a chance and haven't already seen yesterday's video where we not only went over the charts but went into the macro, specifically on the US dollar, that's something that you do not want to miss after watching this video. Do go check this out. And now it's time for us to look at what is going on. The first thing that I want to bring to your attention is that tomorrow is the FOMC meeting. All right, be aware the market is going into that meeting looking to what is said, what could happen, what could surprise the markets. More than likely, Powell is going to say that the Fed is there, they're accommodative, they're going to do whatever is needed to support the markets. It is possible that tomorrow the Fed comes in and lowers rates to negative. That would surprise the markets. That's something that you have to be aware of. You have to always be aware of what the possible risk and or surprises are. If they come in and they take rates negative, that would be something that might shock the markets. I'm not sure how the markets would react. I would have to think that everyone would happen to be worried that the Fed things are possibly worse than they're letting on. Let's look at the charts right now. Right here, you're looking at the daily time frame of the S&P 500, and what I want you to notice and why I'm focused in on the daily to begin this analysis with you is because we have a bar that's piercing through this strong resistance at 28.89, all right, and then is closing below it. That does not constitute a break of resistance. That's a failed breakout so far, but by now, the time you're watching this, we have Alphabet earnings. That could actually, the futures today are quite possibly going to be alive. Be aware, if you are active in a trade, make sure that you are monitoring it because we don't know how the market's going to react as we get set this week for some FANG earnings. But at the end of the day, everything's priced into the chart. Let's see what else we see over here. This is strong resistance that we've come up to right now. We broke above today and so far have not cleared this resistance. That doesn't mean that we can't clear it by tomorrow. We're still above the support you see over here at 28.52. Let's go down to a smaller time frame so we could see what's going on. I want to walk you through this. All right. Now, here is the resistance that I had this at 28.92, and then what I saw was that the resistance was right over here. I moved it down 3 points during the live session today. By the way, we do live stream every day, Monday through Friday. If you would like to be a part of that, Eastern time, you could go ahead and in the link below, you'll see a link to the Telegram group. I do alert everyone, or you could go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. You'll be notified when we do go live. I want to take a look at a couple of things with you. First, I'm going to come down to the 30-minute chart. I want to give you an overview of right now of what's happened in the last 2 days, and then I want to look at what is going to be happening tomorrow. All right, so first thing, I want to look at this mistake that I made. The mistake that I made when we started the week, New York session, we took out this resistance right over here. We took out the resistance at 28.52. Now, between this broken resistance, once it held as support right over here, and you can see again over here, this was 2 opportunities I had to get long because there was enough room between this support and this resistance. Now, you all know I had, and I'm still carrying a bearish bias over here, but that doesn't mean I can't trade both sides. It's very important to look at trades that I missed. This is how I constantly improve as a trader. It's by reviewing not only the trades I took, but more importantly, the trades that I missed. And I want you to see what happened over here so that you could also learn from it, because this is what it's all about. There was enough room over here between these two levels that I could have taken a nice trade to the upside. All right. Now, the first opportunity I had to get long was right over here, right? Now, you could see, again, we did test this support a second time, and it held both times. Here was another opportunity to get long, or a third opportunity would have been if I was watching this overhead resistance, right? Watch. That coincides with that trend line that I have over here as well, that yellow trend line. They are definitely tracking each other. The break of that would have been also an opportunity to get long. I'm sure I would have taken profit on the first test of resistance because remember, I had that bearish bias. Nevertheless, there was a nice trade over here that I didn't take, and I could have taken it. So I want to review that because that's what's important. Next thing we're looking at over here, follow me, was the breakout over here, right? This is where we were this morning. I cautioned everyone in the live stream. We had consumer confidence at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. We were waiting for that number to come out. After it came out, we were watching the 15-minute time frame. Let me jump down to the 15-minute time frame with you. Here comes the number. This was the market deciding what it wanted to do, and then we came in and we took out the resistance. I call it resistance because it never flipped to support. Right? I kept this red. This was the first opportunity it had to flip to support, and it didn't hold. It broke. This was a failed breakout, right? So then over here, I said to you, everyone, this is the important part. Really focus in right now. I want you to learn right now an important lesson over here. I had also drawn in this trend line this morning, and I gave this as a caution to everyone. If we trade below that trend line, right, that point, you have to start having a bearish bias. I had the level over here, this yellow line over here. This was at 28.82. You could see this was the bottom area of support. I said, if we break this resistance right here, right? I call it resistance because it never flipped to support. Watch for a rebound off of 28.82. And then if we come in and we change this, we confirm that this broken support is resistance, that's a place for us to get short. That didn't happen. What happened was after we broke through 28.82 pretty cleanly, right? We started trading up a little bit. As we're trading up, I said to traders, all right, now we're coming up and we're testing that flipped 28.82 level, which was support. That should act as resistance. If we start resuming down, that's the place to get short. I never had the opportunity to get short because this all happened on the 5-minute time frame, actually. You could see over here, focus with me, stay with me. You could see over here, this was the retrace up. This was the potential to get short right there as we resume down, coming off of two levels. First of all, the trend line that we were watching. Second of all, this support flipped to resistance. This was the place to get short. I gave 2 stop losses for people and for traders. At this point, I was not able to get into this trade. Again, I was watching it on the 15-minute time frame. There was some traders in the live stream who got short over here. I gave 2 levels. I said 28.83 would be the first area to know that you're wrong, right? And I also gave a level up here. I think it was 28.94 or 28.96. I said if it hit, or 28.95. If it hits 28.95, you know you're dead wrong on this trade. To get out of the short at that point, you're just wrong on the trade. Now, depending on which stop loss you use, depends on the position size you use. If your stop loss is further away from the market, you're trading with a smaller size than if you're trading with a tighter stop loss. All right? Now, let's look at what happened since. Let's go back let's look at the 30-minute time frame. Since price came back up, off the trend line, by the way, this trend line that I spoke to you about yesterday, that's where price based out, came back up, tested that broken area again, traded back down, and then has since come up and now tested this resistance at 28.89. Now, making lower lows, this is another opportunity to get short right over here. If you were stopped out with the tight stop loss, if you're in the trade still, giving it room, or you missed this trade and you saw price retrace into the resistance area and confirm that resistance area again as price started making lower lows. Opportunity to get short over here right now. Again, you know where your stop loss is. This is an opportunity to get short. Now, this is something that you do have to monitor in after hours because of the earnings. Then we also still have the FOMC tomorrow. Are we going to get any type of break one way or the other before the FOMC? I don't think so, but it's entirely possible. Taking the short over here is a very good entry because as you come down, if we're able to break below this trend line over here, which is now acting as support and coming to this area over here, that's either an opportunity to take profit and or lock in your trade, locking your stop loss to break even. Now, if we break below here, right? And what I like to do is I like to watch the price action as you come into a support area or a resistance area. Often breaks are clean. If you get a clean breakthrough, you can continue pushing that trade, right? Let's see what happens. Right now, you want to have that bearish bias continues. We were ready to take longs over here this morning. If, as we tested into this broken resistance, if it held that support, we were ready to take intraday longs. That didn't happen. That opened up the downside. We had an entry that I was not able to get because, again, I was watching the 15-minute time frame. It doesn't matter that I missed it. Here's again where it opened up for a new entry for myself. This one I'm able to get a hold of. Now, as we're coming in overnight, what I'm probably going to be doing is moving my stop loss to break even. As we come down a little further towards the support, I want to give it the opportunity to break clean of this support. If we do, all of a sudden, I have myself the best possible entry possible. My bearish bias, you could see once this trend line broke, this opened up again, the downside. Now, if you're not in this trade, you don't want to chase after momentum ever. So all thing you want to do is watch. You have overhead resistance and you have support down here. You could wait for a break either way to start entering a position. All right. Or you could wait and see maybe we retrace up here and take another look at this resistance. That also offers an opportunity to get short right now in the upcoming hours. Aside from that, I would actually step back. I would use this support and this resistance. If you're not into a trade already, call this no man's land. Wait for it to pick a direction. Look for the breakout. Look for the retest. Get in there. Tomorrow is the FOMC. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get into a nice position before the FOMC and you could go into the FOMC trading ahead and give yourself the opportunity, if things go your way, to really open up a nice trade. All right, everyone, that is a look at what just happened over the last 2 days, what's before us, what's happening right now. Again, this is more about you learning how to recognize market flow in real time so that you're going to be able to go ahead and take advantage of these opportunities which happen all the time. Do not have that fear of missing out. You're not missing out on everything. It's the market. The market's always going to be there, and there's always going to be an opportunity for you to get involved. If you know what you're doing, if you know how to trade it, you're going to be able to go ahead and profit off it in the long run. Here's a bigger view. I want to come back to the daily time frame, which we started on today, and just give you a view. This is now closing bearish right here. We're about 8 minutes to the close. This day was a failed breakout above this resistance. They tried to break out. Bears took control over here, keyed off of the consumer confidence, which came in slightly lower than expected. If you lose the consumer, you lose the economy. And here, bears are taking a little bit of control off of the heavy resistance. Our bearish bias still remains in place. Wound up getting an entry higher than I figured or was looking for. Happy about that. But more importantly, my mind is focusing on what happens next. Right now, we have earnings coming out this evening. Tomorrow's the FOMC. All right, everyone. I'll talk to you later.